Anyway, um, yeah,
Who race do you
players
play?
in the game.
Who
Uh,
you guys?
I play Terran.
Okay, all right, good to go.
So let's hop into our introduction. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner on Daedalus Point, the Blue Terran from PG Academy took Game 1 in a TVT biomech game on Yansu against Cryptis. It is Orchid. And in the top left-hand corner, the red Zerg player from the Confederation playing on a map that he actually shares a name with. It is Daedalus.
Interesting.
So,
Very exciting map.
yeah, Daedalus is he's a pretty solid Zerg player, I will have to say. So excited to see what he wants to play. I think also now that I'm thinking about it, part of the reason maybe why he was fighting against playing on this map is because this map is largely considered to be very favored for Zerg in TVZ, or ZVT, however you want to say it, just
Yeah,
because.
ZV anything. It's very favored.
Right. So I have a feeling that might have had something to do with it, but
Perhaps. And go ahead and explain like why is it Zerg favored? I would say because the natural expansion.
right. So the ramp is
Bees in the
really the
third,
ramp is really big.
really big. So much so that Blizzard went ahead and nerfed the ramp.
Right. Um, and then, I mean, the third isn't too difficult to defend, so it's like once you can get to that point, it's kind of okay. But
Yeah.
as far as like for a Zerg player having to wall off, or for a Terran player having to wall off this natural, and with that third, that's relatively easy to take in defense since all the action is pretty much just going to be, as I go crazy there, funneled um, in that direction anyway. There's no like real push that's going to come around, and that Zelnaga tower will spot it anyway. So
Yes.
it's kind of difficult from a non-Zerg perspective to apply pressure and to really catch your opponent off guard. So either way, Orchid is well, he's getting his gas. His Reaper's coming out right now. Um, I'd expect to see kind of just standard based on his opener so far, just some Reaper, Hellion, um, creep spread control and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, and usually
um,
standard they open up with one Reaper as opposed to two. Oh, but I guess he's going to open up with the second one.
yeah, so he'll grab the second Reaper, and what that'll basically do is he can now get his orbital or his command center, his natural down. And I'm pretty sure, like right around when that finishes, you can then just lay down your shortly after you can lay down the reactor and the factory at the same time, um, so that you can, and those will finish simultaneously because they take the same amount of time to build, and so that you can just kind of streamline your Hellion production. The Reaper's going to hop into the main base here, and it's going to try and
Probably won't
get
get any
some
pro
kind of.
kills or
No,
kills.
I would certainly say not. These Lings are definitely out in time. They'll kill a Ling though, which is a moral victory. This drone is gonna save itself by turning into an extractor.
Good play.
Um, it'll just suicide itself in a more productive manner. And he should cancel that. Yep, there it goes. So
Yeah.
now two Reapers. It's going to be twice as annoying. This Queen's going to help quite a bit. And this is just kind of like the super typical dance that goes down. There is no reactor going down, actually. He's just going to get a third Reaper here. So, um, man, I'm trying really hard to like just cast this game and not be really ticked off about what just happened. Um, and he's going to start building off his wall with a bunker and a supply
And
depot.
this sort of pressure, like 6 to 8 months ago, would have been with Hellions. Now it's Reapers have definitely taken
Oh,
popularity.
and one Reaper almost goes down here, actually. And I still think, I mean, Hellions are still wildly popular, just because they deny creep so well,
Yes.
and they deal so well with Zerglings, in just kind of like a less micro-intensive way, especially without speed. I don't think he ever hopped in and saw that. He never actually saw that there was the gas in the back, so he has no idea that that Daedalus will actually mine almost 100 extra gas. But um, the Queen's going to go
Yeah.
down to these three Reapers here. That's kind of a problem.
What's his plan with that gas, do you
I
think?
think he just pulled off late. I really,
Okay.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
all it
he
was.
was
And
off busy microing. Okay.
yeah, and he's slipping a little bit on the macro. He's got a lot of money building up here. I'm expecting some sort of third to go down in the near future. He's only got one gas. And, yep, this drone's going to come down and lay down that third hatchery. In the
And I'm
meantime,
sure he'll send the Reapers up there to check the third momentarily.
yeah. Tech Lab's going to go down on the starport, so some Banshee follow-up, and now the Hellions. So this is all just a little bit delayed for Orchid because I guess he chose to get that third Reaper to try and do some damage. One Reaper goes down. Speed now finished. These Lings should, well, just surround. Oh, well, he misses the surround. But he is going to pick off these Reapers, chipping away at the coattails. One Reaper left now. Two Hellions here. And that pretty much makes the pressure moot for now. But he is getting Cloak with the Banshee that will eventually be queued up here. What's that?
Things are in the natural.
Yeah, and I mean, they're not going to do too much here just because of these Hellions and, well, the one Reaper in the bunker. But I guess he's seen pretty much what he needs to. But he did not see the Banshee, and he did not see that the third is building.
Yeah.
He's got this Overlord at the top of the map in a relatively decent position. That he could send in to try and get some scouting information done, but he's opting not to do that right now. How many queens does he have on the map? He's got 3. He has Lair, and Aspire starting, Baning Nest just finishing. So he's got the tools to, just like hit V, make an or what is it? What is it to make it? Yeah, it is V to make an Overseer, and deal with it. But these Hellions are going to try and focus down these queens. I actually really like that play from Orchid coming in, trying to basically just kill off these queens because they're the answer to the cloaked Banshee. Then he's gonna pop in with that Banshee and be like, "Sup, bro?"
He's setting up his Banshee to get more kills as opposed to taking out the drones right now. So he's going for more to set his Banshee up.
I don't know what has inspired Daedalus, but he has continued to. But as these queens have died, he has replenished them. So he's still at 5 queens, which is a pretty good number. He doesn't have he does have an Overseer, so that'll help as well. And I don't think that this Banshee's going to really be able to do too much. This is a very nice defense here from Daedalus.
Excellent, yeah. Coming up with the Spire as well.
Yeah, the Spire is done. He's a little light on the gas. He hasn't gotten his extractors at his natural or at his third. And getting those as soon as possible will obviously help with the production of those Mutalisks, as they are very gas intensive. And you kind of see that right now in how many minerals he has versus the gas. So he really does need to get those if he wants to really build up that Muta count. Maybe the Mutas are just kind of like a bluff, and he's going to use the Roach Bane Ling and just try and smush this army. Well, now there's 2 Banshees coming out. Hellions pushing across the map as well. This is a pretty formidable push coming out from Orchid.
And Orchid has no idea about the Mutalisks until just now.
Right, so now he knows these Banshees do have Cloak. They're opting for the not to use it yet. They'll use it now. And again, this is just kind of skirted back here. Daedalus only at 45 drones though, to the 55 SCVs. It's kind of I look like a buff Hey Pro. That's awfully kind of you. Mostly the buff part. I don't know if Hey Pro is an attractive gentleman, but if you think so, then I'll take it as a compliment.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy, but is he attractive?
I would take it if I were you.
I'll take it. No, I said I'd take it, but yeah, these 3 mutas just being annoying here, and then they'll back off. They'll take a couple, I guess, needless shots, but they won't die. And now this Ling Bling, if you want to call it that, army is going to push forward. These slow Banelings though, and the ramp is down, so they're going to just run in here. The Lings are going to hold position on these SCVs, and well, tons of SCVs are going to go down, 7, 8, and counting. I'll check the final number when it's done, but these Lings doing a pretty solid amount of damage here, I would say, especially with the denied mining time that they've had as well. And Lings continuing to stream forward, so this isn't even close to done here. Really good Widow Mine shots actually are going to help, and these Lings are going to continue to chip away. 11 workers killed, 12, 13. Keep on counting if you want to. Yeah, this is
much better push for Daedalus, I would say.
Yeah, certainly. And again, the big thing for him is this gas, man. I can't even talk about it enough. He hasn't moved his guys onto gas at his natural or at his third. He's taken his fourth and established it now.
Imagine how many more mutas he would have
But
at this point.
yeah, he would have so much more. I mean, the 2,000 minerals are just a telltale sign. Like a lot of that would be in gas, and a lot of that he would end up using. He's just now moving his drones in his main and his natural onto gas. So
Yeah, and he's a little bit stuck at this point because he just moved over those things to gas, and not that much other tech besides the Mutalisks.
the good news is, though, he's kind of turned this into a low econ game from the perspective of the Terran player, who's down at 45 SCVs, and he is producing workers. Right, he was able to kill off a lot of workers, and oh, nice Widowmine shot, gets a Mutalisk there. But yeah, this is again, I just can't even stop wrapping my head around how much more, how many more mutas he would have, and how much more formidable his attacks would be if he just had this gas from the beginning. And like if I were him, I would go to the 4th right now and take those gases and saturate as well, just to try and catch up. He does have layer tech. He doesn't have an infestation pit or anything like that, so no hive on the way anytime soon. 2-2 starting for the melee. So possibly an ultra transition can be set up moving forward, but let's take a look back on Orchid's side. He's oversaturated at his natural, undersaturated at his 3rd. He's got just a ass ton of barracks.
Yeah.
And his armory is late, so his 1-1 is actually finished. His armory is way late, so he's going to be behind on the upgrades.
Yeah, possibly this could be a really good timing attack for Daedalus. Once his 2-2 finishes, it will finish before the Terran is even done with 2-2s himself.
Yeah, and well, these Banelings will detonate semi-cost efficiently. Like, he doesn't have Baneling speed either, so these are slow Banelings off creep. They're going to move forward now. The Banshee's cloak, they've got a ton of energy, dude. These Banshees could just stay alive forever. He's going to decloak, which actually just wastes a little bit of the energy. A drop comes down on the 4th base. He's trying to focus it down. These Lings will come over and clean it up. The Widow Mines will go down as well. So Daedalus able to salvage that base, and the push comes forward again from Orchid in the main, I guess the main front. The Banshees trying to pick away some of these Banelings before they detonate, but forced to lift off is Orchid. He picks up and flies on out of there. Uncloaks the Banshees as well, and again, just back and forth they go here. Orchid's macro slipping as well as he's building up quite a little reserve that I guess that maybe they'll try and change the rules so he can carry that with him to the next game if he wins. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, so the fourth now has the gas for Daedalus. He still hasn't mined from it, but he's built the extractors, so it's a start. These Widow Mines misrallied. Actually, a pretty decent blunder. It's going to help Daedalus a lot to pick those off preemptively. Taking a look, there are only 2 Widow Mines on the map right now, and well, he better hope for like the most perfect detonation ever. Yeah, and there's a lot of mutas as well. There's 11 mutas now. Pretty decent number. The split's trying to come out for Orchid. Not great, but not terrible. And these Lings are just going to continue to stream forward. The Banelings, yeah, Baneling speed, so he's going to roll on in here. He's going to get a big detonation on these Marines if he can catch him here. And yeah, he does. The supply, though, in favor of Orchid. He's defended this well enough, it looks like. Traded armies. And, well, the big one is he's killed off all these mutas. And that's going to hurt because Daedalus is going to have to remake all those. He's got 42 Lings in the production tab, and the Infestation Pit is just finishing. And that was a fight that was 2-2 against 1-1. And it felt like a little bit forced, I think, from the Zerg player. Would have liked to see maybe a little bit.
There was no counter to the Banshees.
Yeah, and the mutas just died to the Marines, and they're the counter to the Banshees if you can, I mean,
Yeah.
work it that way. And I think that's huge for Orchid. It can't be understated. Yeah, the drone count 74 to 76. It's been a pretty low econ game. Both players just now really starting to get into their full saturation. 22 drones at the natural for Daedalus. And here's the engagement coming in. The Banelings roll forward. They'll kill off the majority of these Marines, continuing to stream in. Decent splits, microing back his army is Orchid. And he'll clean that up, and he's got about a 30 supply lead here. And his 4th base is starting to be established. It's going to be a planetary with 4 turrets around it. Pretty difficult to break in. The 5th base for Daedalus comes down as well.
That attack felt a little bit forced from Daedalus's point of view as well.
Yeah, he's
He had his 5th and 4th going up, and even then his 4th isn't fully saturated as of yet. I just felt like that was a forced attack.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's continuing to stay on this tech. He's continuing to build mutas. It's back up to 11, and if you think about all the mutas that he's lost, the unit's lost tab, it's 14,500
Just transferred
to.
a bunch of drones over to his fourth.
That
And there's
looks
gonna be
like
a big attack.
it's not long for this world here. A couple transfuses might be able to save it. He tries with the queen,
Yeah.
doesn't do it in time. I mean, he's got enough money where he can kind of just rebuild that. You know what he wishes he has right now is High Templar for feedback. There's so much energy on all these Banshees and these Medevacs and everything. But either way, the army supply is starting to get well in favor of for Orchid here. And starting to get a little worried for the ConFed Zerg. He's got 40 more lings on the way, so that's good, right?
That's the tech he's definitely choosing. He's going to turn into banelings.
Yeah, and there's Thors on the map now.
Even got a few Hellbats.
65 Marines.
Oh wow.
That's so many
huge
Marines. And 3-3 on the way, whereas Daedalus has not started his 3-3 yet. He hasn't rebuilt his fourth. That larva is being used to make more mutas, and he seems very confident in this structure, this unit composition. As they drop a couple Hellbats is going to try and come along the top side. There are these Baneling mines as well that we've got to keep an eye out for. And it looks like
Yeah,
Orchid
those could be huge.
Orchid is not. It doesn't look like going to go that way. He's going to go around on the left side, so conveniently avoiding them. The drop is going to get picked off by the mutas.
Orchid's going to go and check out the fourth again, see if it was put back up. Not going to find anything.
So I guess that's fortunate. He
Yeah,
never got combat shield. Wow, he didn't ever get combat shield. That's very true. Nice catch, Ruse Master. Yeah, he didn't ever get combat shield. So
Interesting. That must be a mistake, surely, right?
yeah, that's a mistake. But he is maxed now. Daedalus on 170 supply with no bank. So the Ultra Cavern is halfway done here. The mutas. Well, I feel like there's just too much here. If Orchid takes
I
even
don't see this going well for Daedalus
if
unless he
Orchid
gets
even takes just a
banelings.
decent fight here, this is going to be tough. Banelings come forward. This looks like the last hurrah here. They're going to blow up on that Thor. All these Marines are going to stay alive. The Baneling's going to continue to stream forward. The mutas will hopefully try to clean everything up. Is there an Overseer over here? I don't think there is. It was killed off. So these Banelings are the last hope here. It's 162 supply to 126 with 13 more mutas on the way, but I don't think that's I don't think that's enough.
And at this point, Terran's getting his fifth base up.
And a couple
Just
more
got a bunch of
orbitals.
mules.
He's got a huge bank, producing a lot of units at a time. And well, these Marines will settle themselves down, focus down the Ultralisk Cavern, and a bunch of drones that were long distance mining along that same path. And feels like GG's all but a formality here, Valimar.
Orchid's up here hitting the fifth base with Banshees, Hellbats.
Yeah, this is it. GG comes out from Daedalus. And, well, Orchid takes game 2 as well, giving PG Academy